Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm Kai and this is Kai's Tiny Homes. This is one of my 40-foot by 8-foot container homes that I am going to put on a trailer bed. This one is called Kairos 4 and I'm excited to share it with you guys today and walk through it and talk about my design process with you, my thought process as I was designing this home, and what makes it so special. This one has been such a dream passion project for me. I really love the way it turned out. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here we are in the kitchen, and this is one of the most clever designs that I've done so far. I would like to say that the galley kitchen style is something that I really like. I really respect the galley style kitchen, and I do think that a lot of the galley style kitchens that you see in restaurants and on ships are part of what made me feel inspired, because when you're working with a small space, you want to make sure that everything that you need is present and that it all flows the way it should. So for me, I really wanted that workflow that allowed me to basically pivot from place to place in a diagonal, especially since this is only 8 feet of space from one wall to the other, from this wall to this wall. These countertops take up a lot of space. So that means that there is a walkway that I needed to consider as I was designing the space to make sure that it was flowing the best way that it makes sense for it to flow. Now, I'm planning on living in this home by myself. This is a personal home that you would have with yourself or a partner or maybe a pet. For this house in particular, I stacked and loaded this kitchen up with as much storage as I reasonably could, as much countertop space as I reasonably could as well, considering the footprint. And I think I did a fantastic job in that department, just because the amount of countertop space that I have on this side just makes it feel like the kitchen works for the way it needs to work. And I also have 8 burners in here. That's a really cool part of this design for me. The reason I included an 8 burner stove is because I know I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking, and I actually don't have a fan in here, which is why I have the windows right there next to the stove, right behind it, so that whenever I'm cooking, I can just open the windows and let any of that smell out of the house. I can also open up other windows in the house too for ventilation, like here on the other side of the sink, openable awning windows as well. And over here, I do have a lot of different appliances that are going to get tucked away, stored away. For example, I have an open microwave cabinet below here, and that's going to be where I put my air fryer. Here, I may end up putting this induction cooktop inside of a drawer, and that was always the plan. It wasn't for it to be a stationary countertop additive. I have the space for it if I do need a second cooktop, which is why I have the stove here in the center of the kitchen on this side. I have an oven, stove, air fryer, second induction cooktop, and I'm also planning on having an Instant Pot that goes inside of the cupboards over here. And as you can tell, I went for integrated appliances because I love how sleek and seamless they look, how you can hide things in plain sight. I love that look, so that's exactly why I wanted to have this all integrated wooden look throughout the home. I really love the farmhouse sink and the style of a farmhouse sink. This is actually supposed to be a farmhouse sink, but I just made it a really deep sink instead. Below that is going to be a drawer where I keep all the soaps and stuff, detergents that I need to clean around the house. I'm going to have handy stuff in here, tools, scissors, knives, anything that I might need to cook, I'm going to have right there. Here is actually where it gets fun. I put a flip-up desk or countertop extension on the edge of this countertop, and I wanted that to be there so I could have an extra seat, also to have a space to extend the countertop space, since I put a window down here. That window is an addition that I put because I planned to have my cats in this house. When I first designed this home, I was planning on having my cat come with me. I wanted a way for him to be able to leave the house and then come back inside at his own will, at his own discretion. So I decided to include a cat door. I had to put it as a window because the program only allows me to put windows, but you get the idea. And my cat is going to be able to go out onto the porch. This is where it gets really fun because I'm going to construct the porch as a catio, and I'm going to make this entirely for him, like almost entirely for my cat and for me. I really wanted my cat to have that freedom of movement inside of this house because it is in a smaller footprint, but I still wanted him to have a great experience of living with me. I wanted to build an enclosed deck. This is 40 by 15 feet, by the way. It's the same length as the house. So in total, the floor plan of the house, including the outdoor deck, is going to be 8 feet, and then plus 15, that is 23 by 40. So whatever 23 by 40 feet is, that's the dimension of this home. And I really feel like having that outdoor space extends the house massively, so that you're not just living inside of a narrow home, you're actually like being able to get outside and experience what outdoors has to offer you. That's what I did here, and I included outlets because I always include extra outlets. You never know when you're going to need a phone outlet or a USB-C port, so that's why I have them on that wall there. Here are regular outlets in the kitchen. Those are for any appliances that I'm going to use on top. Back there, the temperature control panel, it's going to be on a digital panel so that I can control the temperature from the bathroom or at the edge of the kitchen. And again when I'm over there in the living room area, and we're gonna get there soon. We're gonna talk about the bathroom first, so let's go. This beautiful area is the bathroom. This is a design that I have been keeping consistent throughout my designs lately. I really like the stacking washing machine in the bathroom, and I also like a big shower with the sink right next to it in an ascending order. So it's like stair steps that stack up and create a feeling of you're elevating in the bathroom, which I think is pretty cool. This shower is 6.5 feet high, 7 by 3 feet. So it's actually a pretty big shower. It is not a standard shower. You do see a lot of these types of showers in luxury homes, and I just wanted to include that feature in this home. I really feel like having a container home does not mean that you need to skip out on having luxury appliances or luxury feeling finishes or furnishes. I feel like if you're gonna do a container home, don't just do it just to survive, do it to enjoy your space, because you're creating a space for yourself to thrive and have a bigger life. So even if you're gonna downsize, don't downsize on quality. Keep your quality up. You know, if you want to downsize, but just don't sacrifice what makes life worth living just to do it. And yeah, like I was saying about the shower, I have a shower seat in here because I always put a shower seat in my showers. I do not like not having a seat in my showers. Also, having a seat in the shower makes it elderly friendly too, and makes it also friendly for babies, because if you have a baby, you'd want to shower them and keep them comfortable. And for ventilation purposes, to make sure that we take care of mold and mildew before it even becomes a real life problem, we have to design for proper ventilation. So here I included 2 awning windows in the shower just to save myself from dealing with that problem in the future. And you'll see that I also have a window here. So I have 2 windows in the bathroom. Both of them are awning windows. They both open, all 3 of them open. And below that, I have a bench seat that actually acts as storage, laundry storage specifically. So dirty laundry that I don't feel like washing right away, I can just throw it in there. That's just a desire to keep it easy. If I have my laundry in the bathroom, then I don't have to worry about my laundry being anywhere else in the house, especially not in my living areas. This is the perfect place for it. A lot of people forget about the garbage and the hamper when they're designing a container home. Like, it just slips their mind. I know that I didn't design the garbage can to be inside the house because I don't want any garbage in my house sticking up my house when I already have a small footprint that I'm working with. So the garbage can is also going to be outside along with my cat's litter box. The same way that I have the toilet in the bathroom. Speaking of the toilet, I didn't get to the toilet. So the toilet in this bathroom is hidden away. And if you're wondering where it's hidden, it is hidden directly under the sink, right there. Now, this is gonna be a composting toilet. I always design my tiny homes or container homes with composting toilets because it creates a simplified way of dealing with your waste. You don't have to worry about electricity, you don't have to worry about water and keeping your water supply going if you don't feel like installing piping and paying for that piping underneath your house to create a septic system. If you're going to live off-grid or somewhere where it's more rural, you might not want to invest in a septic system, or you might want to, but regardless of what you decide, the composting toilet is a fantastic way to deal with your waste in a low-cost, high-quality way. It's beneficial for the environment because you're also creating soil and fertilizer from your waste, and it repurposes it into something useful for living off-grid and providing your plants with nutrients that come directly from you. So that's why composting toilets are amazing, and it's a really cool thing to consider, especially considering flushing toilets. They waste a lot of water. Flushing toilets really do waste a lot of water. I'm gonna have water tanks on site on the property for me to be able to have a water system, but I'm just not gonna have that water system compensate for my septic system. My water system is going to be for drinking water, showering, and for doing my laundry. Besides that, washing my dishes, of course, brushing my teeth, washing my face, doing stuff like that. Basic tasks every single day, but just not for my toilet situation. This is an LED mirror, and this is going to be like a really nice light source in the room. There are other lights above. There are tons of lights above in this bathroom, and there just aren't any lights in the shower because I didn't want there to be any overhead lighting in the shower directly. I feel like the lights that are outside compensate that just fine. And if anything, I can always put recessed strip lighting on top of the ceilings up here just to keep it really smooth and seamless visually. And I think that's about it for the bathroom. I have a carpet in here, you already know. I have outlets in here too, and a light switch. So let's continue. I didn't even talk about this part of the house. Right when you come off of the kitchen, when you enter into the home, you immediately see that there are 2 storage closets and a wood-burning stove directly in the center that's fortified by these black walls that are actually an inductor for the heat that the furnace is going to be emitting. Say that if you've seen a brick oven, you have to fortify and insulate that brick oven so that the heat doesn't escape. That is the exact same concept here that I'm going to input, and I'm going to have those 2 dividers between each of those cabinets so that the heat from the furnace doesn't interfere with any of of the electrical equipment that's here for the TV, and I'm also putting firewood underneath here, and that's why there's this open cabinet right down here. Also, if I don't put firewood here, I'm definitely going to put a cat bed for my cat so he can sleep. Everything that is in this house has multiple functions, and we're gonna see that come to play in the next part of the home, which is actually the bedroom slash living room slash office hybrid combo. And this is a very convertible area by design. So let's get into that. Again, we have another panel here. This is another temperature panel. Because this house is 40 feet long, I might not want to walk 40 feet just to change the temperature. So I have two in here just for that purpose. And I have a quad switch right here that's going to control the lighting for the strip lights here, the lighting that extends down the hallway of the home, and the lighting in the bathroom, as well as the lighting above the bed. So I have the quad switch there to control multiple different things in the home, just to keep everything simple. So now we're going to talk about the living room. This living room is actually just 4 cushions. I wanted this to be like a really fun sofa pit type of vibe. I really love that these couches and these cushions are convertible and that they can be moved. So say that I didn't want to have this couch here when I walk in, that's fine. I can just put this on the wall. All these are the same size, so I could easily put one on the wall over here. I could stack this up next to that one, or I could put them in the back over there and lay them on top of that space. So I basically included this area to give me a sense of freedom in the home. Tight, I just wanted to make sure that it could be modular, movable, and we can basically adjust as needed. We have a skylight right above the living room area because I knew that it might feel cramped if I didn't add it. I wanted to have that lighting come through. I also wanted to envision myself laying down on those cushions while looking up while it's raining, and knowing that I can just go outside at any time, knowing that I can just chill and be comfortable at any time, play video games and watch TV, watch a movie here whenever I feel like it. I could put more cushions here. I could use this to put my feet up if I choose to, and I can also have company in here too. I wanted people to feel like they could sit anywhere, and I know that the space is limited, but that 8-foot pit really gives you the feeling of, yes, I can have people over here. I can have people sit and enjoy the space with me. So that's the living room, and we're gonna move on to the office space. So the office space is actually a bedroom as well, and if you can see, this bedroom is basically a loft bed, but instead of it being a regular loft bed, it's on a Happy Jack bed lift system. Now, a Happy Jack is basically a system that allows you to put your bed on a vertical conveyor belt. You drop the bed lower and then raise it up higher to the ceiling, depending on whatever your needs are. Same kind of system that they use in van conversions when people are building out vans to do van life. And they also have those bed systems installed into their vans just so that they can save space and have that modular convertible vibe going on inside of their small footprint. So this is really about maximizing the amount of available space and then converting the area into a usable space when the bed is not in use. And that is exactly where the office space comes in below it. So the office space below it is a 5-foot desk, 5 foot by 2 feet, and we have an ottoman seat here as the main seating area. Now, when you're actually in here, it looks really cool because I already made the renders. It is a really cozy office area and it's not cramped whatsoever. This desk is larger than either of my desks that are in my bedroom, and having that extra foot of space is going to make a big difference for me when I'm working, especially because I'm an artist. I wanted to have a space where I could put my art stuff around and not stress about where I'm going to put it after I'm done. That's exactly why I included these flip-top storage boxes on the wall, because I wanted to be able to put stuff away and then get it out when I needed to, but I didn't want it to be a door that swings outwards because that would waste space. So for me, I knew that I wanted something that was more compact and would actually be reliable, so I chose this type of flip-top storage solution that perfectly blends into the console area that I'm gonna have all of my gaming consoles on. Anything that I might need for the TV is gonna be on here. My PS4, PS5, my Wii if I choose to get a Wii again, my Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I just basically wanted to include a lot of storage in this area, and that's why there are also storage benches down here too. That's actually a place to put my feet when I'm working. I wanted the ability to put my feet up. The whole area is carpeted for comfort, and this bed drops down right here, and the outlets pop up right above it so that the outlets aren't disturbed by the bed itself. I also have 2 openable sets of awning windows on both sides of the bed so that you can get that fantastic cross breeze. So the cross breeze is what everybody talks about when they're in a tiny home, and people really enjoy the cross breeze because it's just like perfect ventilation. The ventilation that it gives is just stellar. For me to have had 4 openable windows on this part of the house, that means a whole lot. So yeah, I believe there's another skylight above the bed so that when you're in bed, you can still look up at the stars. I have heard that skylights can leak sometimes, but when I build this, I'm gonna make sure that we seal it properly the first time so that we don't have any problems. I have an AC unit in here. This is a compact AC unit. It's the wall AC type of air conditioner. It has an outlet up there just for it. Down here is a dimmer switch because there are lights right above the bed, and when I'm in bed I want to be able to control the temperature and the brightness of the lighting, so I have that dimmer switch right there by the bed. We're gonna take a quick trip outside of the home just so I can show you what the exterior looks like. I designed this home to be on a gooseneck trailer bed, and a gooseneck trailer is a trailer that has an elevated deck on one side and then it drops down. That is the part where the trailer actually goes on the bottom. I designed this to be on a gooseneck trailer specifically because I knew that this was one of the more portable homes that I have ever designed. I wanted to create a situation where I wouldn't have to struggle when I wanted to move it in case I wanted to move it somewhere else. I still meet the height restrictions that are required to meet when you're transporting large vehicles that are carrying cargo. So for this one, the height of the trailer itself is 2 feet. The actual container is 9.6 feet tall because it's a high cube, and I have that on a trailer bed that is 40 feet long by 8 feet wide. Those are the standard dimensions for trailers. And I have this exterior deck outside of the home that is currently going unused but will eventually get used for something. If not for a garden, definitely for something else. And last but not least, the water tanks. I have 2 water tanks on the exterior of the home. I designed the water tanks to basically be coinciding with the bathroom and the kitchen. I didn't want them to have the same water tank, but in this style I wanted to have 2 separate water tanks just so that I can manage my resources better, so that they're not competing. Whether there's somebody in the kitchen who needs water while I'm showering, I don't want them to mess with my showering. That's basically what I wanted to show you in this design. Tiny Easy. Oh yeah, so let me talk about Tiny Easy. So Tiny Easy is the design software that I use to design my container homes on, and I absolutely love it. I love this program so much. As you can see, I'm easily navigating it, and it feels like I'm actually engaging deeply with my design process and with the homes that I'm creating, because I'm picturing myself living here in 3D. It makes it easy to design. It's beginner friendly completely, and it also gives you a ton of visualization power. And when you're somebody who is a very visual person, you need to be able to see what the space looks like in real life, in real time. I feel like you just don't get this type of thing from 2D floor plans. You just don't see what the space is gonna feel like. You don't feel what the space is gonna feel like when you're looking at a 2-dimensional floor plan. So that's why I really love that this particular software gives me the ability to design in 3D from the jump. This has really improved my spatial intelligence. I feel like being able to design in 3D is a skill that I've acquired as a result of having to design in this program in 3D. And there is a 2D option here that allows you to see the space in 2D. It is super helpful because sometimes you do have things that you need to adjust that you might not see as flaws when you're working in a 3-dimensional space. But then when you go into the 2-dimensional space, you do see everything laid out in front of you, and you're like, okay, I love the way this is coming out. I see that that chair needed to be adjusted. Let me fix it. This chair is actually too wide for this space. I'm gonna put that at 1.5 instead. Super easy to change the dimensions of stuff too. You go over here and you basically click, you enter what dimensions you want. You can adjust the settings in here. So in the design settings, you can adjust the unit system. Here I have it in feet because I'm American, whatever. I am not super familiar with the metric system, but I do plan to learn the metric system going forward. And you can really adjust it to whatever your unit of measurement is in your country. For me, it's feet and inches, but for every other country, it would be millimeters, centimeters, meters, etc. For builders, it would be fractional or like in feet or inches, because especially if you're an American, you're a builder, you might know both systems, but typically people in America measure with feet and inches. Back to the 3-dimensional view of the home. Down here, we have the camera and the walkthrough. And when I'm on walkthrough mode, I can adjust the camera angle with my keyboard and my mouse, my trackpad. And I like this view much better than the camera view because the camera view is static. It takes you around the home, but it's not a super immersive experience for me because I'm constantly moving around from place to place. To adjust it, I basically have to zoom in with my trackpad. I can zoom in, I can zoom out. I can adjust the angle of it depending on where I need to see. And this program is actually powered by a gaming engine. It's powered by software called Unity. It's a platform that is used to design games. This platform also operates on a similar type of gaming system. If you've played computer games, you'll know that the controls that you use are basically the same as you would use when you're playing a game. So AWSD adjusts the location of the camera. Q and E adjust the height of the camera. And the arrow keys also do the same thing that the A, W, D, and S keys do. And also, I love this program so much because everything that is here is basically a drag and drop model. It's super cool how I can just be like, okay, well, I need a door. Let me put a door here. Boom. Door added. And I don't have to stress about it. I don't have to design the door itself. I can just put a door there. And you might be like, well, that's simple, right? Yeah, that's the point. That's the whole reason of why this program was developed in the first place, to make it easy instead of having to design every single asset from scratch. Time is money. Time is definitely money. When you are a designer and you know that you want to be pumping out design after design for different clients. You don't want to sit there and create every single asset by hand when you have a client. I don't want to be sitting here for like weeks and weeks while my client is waiting while I develop one asset at a time. I feel like it's important for me to be able to be quick, be efficient, and not lose out on quality with the efficiency that I'm turning out these designs at. A part of my business model is to create custom home designs for people who are looking to live in tiny homes and build their own, whether for their own personal main dwellings or for an ADU, which is an accessory dwelling unit. So if you're doing Airbnb, you can have a custom home designed by me. Your Airbnb can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a container home, it can be a tiny home on wheels, anything that you want really. This is an income generating asset for you if that's what you're looking for. I am in the business of designing these income generating assets for people, in designing homes for people who are looking for shelter, who are looking for affordable housing with high quality features. I will say that my designs are in that luxury category because of how much I poured into them, how many features are baked into them, and I've done my research to know that a lot of the features that I naturally included in my homes are actually found in luxury homes. So I could charge a considerable amount for my homes when I'm going to build them. For the floor plans themselves, I'm selling them on my website, and I'm making sure that they are affordable for people who are looking to DIY their own tiny homes and container homes. So if you're looking for a container home floor plan or a tiny home floor plan, you can find them on my website, Kai's Tiny Homes. I also have a Gumroad shop that I'm currently uploading all of my container home designs onto, available for purchase right away. If you're looking to build a tiny home and have someone design it for you, you can book a consultation with me on my website, Kai's Tiny Homes, as well. Because I have so much amazing stuff to say about it, I will go into this software in full depth in my next video. That has been Kairos 4, and I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough of my lovely container home. And again, all my links to my socials are in my description. All my links to my websites are in my description. If you're looking to purchase materials, I have affiliate links down in my description as well. I've already linked all of my materials that I've researched and sourced down there, ready for you to purchase whenever you're ready. So thank you so much for watching my video today, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.